Okay, I'm done. I can't. I don't have that much breath in me. It's gonna be a long show. I need to save my breath. I know. So for everyone who doesn't know, shout out to our boy Jacob over here. Somebody got COVID and then decided to give it to him. I mean, isn't that family? Doesn't that say love, sharing?
Yeah. I don't think I want to share that anymore.
All right. So literally the reason I named the episode this week
introductions,
the week of joy.
Do you believe in telling everyone your name, sir?
No, it's right here.
We always do this.
There are people listening.
I'm sorry. So I am the official Megs.
I'm JPhrygian.
There you go.
And I'm KingVonSchweetz.
There you go. Okay, everyone happy now? All right. So at this point, if you're listening, you know us. You love us. We're giving you more stuff, I promise. But the reason we named this week the Week of Joy, I don't think I haven't slept this long in a long time. Like all week. I was up for 24 hours yesterday. 24.
You're doing a lot.
And I didn't realize I didn't have to be up for 24 because Disney, Star Wars, whoever screwed me. So, I mean, let's just start with it, right? Last weekend, we had Chip and Dale. We had Men. Monday was the Thor trailer. Tuesday, I had Top Gun, the early watch for Top Gun, which we'll get into because we need to. Wednesday, what was Wednesday? Was Wednesday anything? I feel like there was stuff. Yes, Idris Elba's new trailer for Beast came out. Okay. A bunch of stuff got announced Wednesday. Then
Bob's Burgers was Thursday. Right?
Bob's Burgers was Thursday, and then the start of this little thing. I don't know if you guys heard. It's kind of indie. It's called. Hold on. It's called Star Wars Celebration. You might have to edit that. That might have been really loud. Star Wars Celebration started Thursday. If nobody knows and lives under a rock, because it is everywhere right now. And then Star Wars went, that's cool, Marvel. We get your cinematic universe, but we're going to show you how it's done. And they've just dropped bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb. And then not only that, we had Top Gun this week, like I said. Have I mentioned Top Gun was this week?
I think you've mentioned Top Gun
okay,
maybe like once or twice, like a couple times over the week.
And then not only did Star Wars remind us, they gave us 2 episodes of Kenobi, and I'll go out on a limb. It might be some of the best Star Wars stuff we've gotten ever.
Period.
I really think ever. And then we got what, 9 hours of Stranger Things out of nowhere as well. Yeah.
If you were listening to last week's episode, you already know I've been exposed. So yeah, the Stranger Things, y'all send love, send help. I'm gonna be spending some time doing some catch up.
Well, Jacob and I can help you actually. So what you do is you just watch season 1 and they get older. It's wash and repeat. So Jacob's shaking his head. Yes, Jacob is going to be mute a good bit in the show if you're listening.
I'm not muted. I'll mute myself whenever I cough or something.
Yeah, he's going to talk minimally and only about one thing and one thing only, which is the joy of him and mine. Star Wars. Good question for all of us. What's more of a soft spot, Star Wars or Spider-Man?
What do you mean?
I mean,
like what when one of them are on, or something of that nature or that universe is going on, what grabs you more, Star Wars or Spider-Man?
I mean, I'm a newer Star Wars fan, so Spider-Man for me.
I think if it's new or new to me, Spider-Man. But if it's I'm just chilling out at home and I want something with replay value, it's usually a Star Wars film.
So say the Spider-Man 4 and Star Wars new movie being directed by Taika Waititi comes out same day. What are you seeing first?
It's new to me, so it would be Spider-Man.
Oh,
but I will say that Star Wars has the ability to tug at my emotions a lot more than Spider-Man has.
Bring it back real quick.
At least recently. Yeah.
I cried so hard on that.
Oh, both episodes I cried.
Okay, well we'll cry at the end together. So we do have a list. We do have a list that we try to stay with. Thor, Love and Thunder. We finally got a poster, banger poster, banger
They've been
trailer.
killing it. They've been killing it.
What did we think?
So I know for me, saw the first Thor, not the first Thor trailer, but the newest Thor trailer, and it's pretty good. I thought that it did a good job of showing us just a little bit of a nice adventure. I like the direction Taika seems to go with the Thor movies, kind of giving us a little bit more of Jane, something that one of you might have pointed out to me or somebody else saw a video. They actually even show in the trailer how Jane has a better connection with Mjolnir than Thor does. When if for those of you who have seen the trailer, she actually shoots out the shards of the formerly broken Mjolnir. It's not lightning. If you go back and watch that and you didn't notice it. And so I thought they showed us a little bit, didn't give us too much. We got our look at Gore the God Butcher. I don't think that it looks so bad. What about you guys? I know everybody was really worried. They were like, "Oh my gosh,
it looks so bad."
Bro, I think it looks great. I like my main.
A lot of people. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
My main issue online is people are. I mean, there's some things that are justified, like with people. If you're part of my headcanon army, being mad at the whole power change for Miss Marvel, or like I can't think of anything else right now, but there are certain things that should not be changed when you're adapting it to film. And with Gore the God Butcher, I don't really care if he has tendrils hanging from his head.
Yeah.
But there are people online that are like, oh, he looks terrible. He should have the tendril. And it's like, bro, I know you're not on the internet right now telling me that Gore the God Butcher was number 1 on your enemy list and you were praying that they got the face right. Like,
isn't that funny? Like when people are like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this forever," and it's like, go ahead, name the issue and page that he was on when he first showed up. Go ahead.
Let's tell the truth.
Name the 5 years like gap where he first appeared, and I bet you can't even do that.
Like, that's the thing. That's what I would say too. Is like, again, I've known of Gore the God Butcher, but I can't sit here and act like I've been waiting on Gore the God Butcher to pop up in the MCU. Like, why do we do this? And like, I've seen some people, some of them are kind of cool. Some people have made like edits similar to what we talked about with Spider-Man No Way Home, how some people fix certain CGI or edited certain scenes. Some people have made edits where they put the tendrils and his little scarf or whatever. And like, they look cool. And it's like, oh yeah, he would have looked real sinister. But to be honest, it's like I mentioned, I think with Megs with you last week, it looks like he's going to slowly transform depending on whether he's in fight mode or talking mode, because sometimes he looked a little more human. Other times he looked a little almost like vampiric. So I'm fine with them doing whatever they want to do.
SAT word.
Yeah, you're welcome. I pride myself on knowing random words for no reason. But yeah, I enjoyed the trailer. It was super funny. I got flamed for saying that I think the movie will have a beautiful plot, because I think it will. It's just got like a blonde plot.
Jacob, do you know what he's talking about?
A braided hair plot. Like the armor on them looks like wonderful plot too.
This man,
I'm done.
This man made that video that slept on the couch for a week, probably. Anyways, actually in the comics, Jacob, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jane having Mjolnir, the hammer actually will form to what they want it to form, and she has it forming to Mjolnir because that's what is most recognizable to her. Correct?
No, I think in the comics it's just always Mjolnir because it wasn't cracked in the comics.
Because I heard somebody talking about that, and I was like, that's interesting. Because somebody said that might not be the last form that we see. It might Mjolnir might change into a different form at some point because of the shatterness and form into I don't know
I think
a
the
Megazord or something. I don't know.
I think the main reason people were saying that was because some of the toys that I don't think it was Hot Toys, but like Hasbro and stuff have shown it like where she rearranged the pieces somehow to look like a mace or where all the pieces fly out and scatter like we saw in the trailer. So I think they're kind of like adapting it so that way it's not like we're watching another Thor movie, but we're watching an updated, like different modern Thor.
Okay.
We're basically going to see somebody be better with the hammer than Thor or Cap was. Because like I mean, when I found out she threw shards, and now you're talking about this, it'll be pretty interesting to see like her possibly like manipulate Mjolnir to like a point of like making like a mace or an axe or a sword or something like just off of her power.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to see it kind of like shapeshift a little bit. But I mean, look, it's Taika, I believe. And
yeah, I just looked it up. From what I see, I don't think it was ever cracked, and I don't think she ever like, changed it.
I do, because I thought it as well, and then Julian brought it up. I find it interesting that we only see her as Thor in the outfit and everything. And is that because of the cancer? Like, does she stay that way, and then maybe at the end
we see?
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, they are taking some of the Mighty Thor story and just adapting it is the word I've heard.
I think that they've been really strategic with these trailers because they haven't shown it, but they have shown Gore and they have shown Thor as far as like this journey of, are the gods really helping? And if they are, how are they helping? And I think that the movie is going to show us, I think initially it's going to do what the trailers are doing and just show us Jane in the Mighty Thor fit. And then later on, Thor is going to discover like,
he's going to realize
she's permanently ill with cancer. And like, I've been gone for 5 years. And like, I probably could have, as a god of thunder, I probably couldn't have done much for cancer, but I could have at least been by her side and like helped her. And like, that's going to further along the story of just him understanding where Gore is coming from.
Well, it's always been the issue with the Thor movies is the disgusting relationship, I would say, that they make them have. It's so forced in the first two movies to me that it almost looks like that Taika's reimagining the relationship.
I think it's just like it's a hard relationship because Natalie Portman has never been on screen as the girl, just like the girl. She's always been the woman. She's been the leader. She's been like the strongest of the two. Like, even as Padme, I mean, they made Padme a leader. Like,
she was out here.
Like, if they had written that role and she was a queen and she was just like prim and proper.
You're gonna make me cry again if you bring this shit up. I'm just letting you know.
I'm just saying, like, if that was it, like, I don't think they would have cast Natalie Portman because Natalie Portman is, like, in all of her roles, she shows how strong and independent her character is.
Yeah, it was, and I think a lot of people talk about her as Jane and the lack of justice kind of before, because it was just kind of like she almost, I might be wrong in saying this, but I feel like I've heard this opinion recently. She wasn't as much even like a very supporting role. Like she was intelligent. She basically was the one who tied like the whole thing of like, no, this is science or whatever, and like how everything was working with Thor. But like they didn't really give a lot of heavy development moments that we're seeing them give more supporting characters now. And it's one of those things where her character kind of just like fell behind to the wayside. Kind of similarly, because they did a better job with it. But for example, Pepper, who had like a very prominent role in like the first Iron Man, pretty recurring second Iron Man. Kept kind of recurring and getting moments and good and bad, whatever, with Gwyneth Paltrow. But yeah, Natalie Portman didn't exactly
you
get
brought
that.
up Gwyneth Paltrow, and she was just in this Uber Eats commercial. Because now you know how they're doing the Uber Eats, like, oh, you can do anything, but I can't eat this. But instead Uber brings stuff. And she's like, oh, I can eat this, and got whatever she got. But then she was like, one of the other things she got was a detox thing or whatever. And it was like, oh, this is how it is. Oh, we're all still learning. But the funniness of that is because she got sued for her company of health that she had because of the snake venom or coffee or whatever the hell it was that was like an enema detox, and apparently it killed 2 people, and she's in court over that. And it was just like,
I didn't know that.
What is wrong with everybody right now? Like what that like, and then I told you guys about the Boys commercial, like, or the interview where he said like, oh, Homelander looks like he might beat up a sous chef or something, or a caterer. And I was just like,
they put their real life problems.
Bro, you are literally in a court trial right now because of that. Like, I just thought it was funny. But anyways, I'm sorry. Continue.
Wild. No, Hollywood Wild. That I didn't realize the correlation between those two, because I know they also made a joke about her candle. I think those of you who are unaware, she has a candle that has essence of her underwear. Anyway,
I know what I'm getting Jacob for a wedding present.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't have this man on the couch for no reason. But yeah, in general, Thor trailer was good. I do like Taika makes Thor just funny. Like, he's hilarious. And I think that like the colors, the idea, the picture all looks great.
Ragnarok-ish, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's also interesting. Ragnarok had good music, and now with the Guardians going to be in there as well, which who have always had good music as well. The like blend, I feel like they kind of have with what they've been doing with Thor, and then also music with Star-Lord and everything, him being super into 80s and all that. So super excited to see the movie. With Jane, I also about the cancer. And then Megs, I think you mentioned she has a time gap, right? She has a time gap.
Yeah, it's almost the 2 of them are like confused on whether she's like 3 or 4 years, he's like 8 years, blah blah blah. It's like a 5-year gap that they're talking about. So I think she was blipped.
I think that's potential, which would be interesting, because and Jacob, you talked about the parallel too, where Thor basically is going to get another, dang, I got to grow up some more story. Like, his whole thing is like moving forward. How do I go on with all this loss? And like, if he, in the middle of the movie, he's about to find out she got cancer, she's going to be like, bro, like,
he was a pampered child until he was like a grown adult, basically. And then like Band-Aid rip. It was like Elf. He's like the superhero Elf. Grown child, and then put out into the real world. Didn't understand any of it. Didn't understand how to be a normal human. Figured that out. Then his brother crossed him. His dad dies. His mom dies. His sister tries to kill him, and she dies. Like, the man's going through it. And then all of a sudden now, possibly the love of his life dies, like, or he dies. I'm just saying.
We always wondering about who's going to die at the end of a Marvel movie. It's been ever since Infinity War. We're just never
don't get any smaller.
Oh man.
So excited?
I'm thoroughly excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. I think it's just one of those things. I also get a good joy out of the movies that, as much as this probably sucks to say, the movies that don't get overly hyped. I think Thor gets a lot more hype than he used to because Ragnarok was so good. And so, yeah, because it's a movie that I feel like I can go into. I'm not worried about how Gore the God Butcher looks versus how he looked in the comics. So yeah. I think I'm going to enjoy it regardless.
Agreed. I'm super excited.
I'm excited because that trailer had at the end there, and everybody's been talking about it. Valkyrie's holding Zeus's lightning bolt, and I'm just like, all right, if Valkyrie becomes like king of the gods, I'm gonna just clap and cheer the entire movie. Like
she just became king of Asgard, and so it's like, hey, girl, you moving on up from a failed Valkyrie to.
Funny thing is actually towards the end of Mighty Thor, Valkyrie before she dies makes Jane Valkyrie, and so that would be an interesting twist at the end if like Valkyrie becomes God, king of the gods, and then she gives the Valkyrie to Jane. That'd be interesting.
How cool would that be though? Is like if Jane holds both mantles, and instead of just using Mjolnir to fly around, she's got a fucking Pegasus that she's just like flying around on with Mjolnir.
she and then Thor has her airbrushed on the side of his van that has a sliding door on it. Yeah. That would be fantastic.
He got a Loki tattoo on his back.
The 3 Loki tattoos are great. All right, so Jacob or Jordan, you had something you want to talk about with Alec Baldwin of all people right now?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, getting into it a little bit, guys. Getting into just some news that's movie adjacent related. All of you are probably familiar with Alec Baldwin. I just had a quick thing to say. This week, if you maybe didn't see, it went pretty crazy, pretty viral. Altercation between a former NFL player and a United Airlines employee. NFL player
he was over 50 pounds, and the guy needed to go over it.
Well, he didn't have to walk up and slap this man in the face, and that is what most people didn't see, was that the NFL player, he just got hit in the face. Like, I mean, the employee walks up to him, talking to him, yelling, smacks him in the face, and that's what started the whole altercation. But what we're going to talk about is how Alec Baldwin decided to not tweet about it. He commented on an Instagram post. The guy working at the airport is the victim. He came to work to do a job. The other guy with his big mouth is guilty of workplace abuse, where people come to work with an expectation of safety, even civility. This asshole who hit this guy should be put on a no-fly list. What I have to say about this is, Alec Baldwin, why are you talking? Because this is the second time that Alec Baldwin has kind of just put his 2 cents in. And I get it. I get you have an opinion, but also you accidentally shot somebody. And that was all over the news. That was all over the internet. And a lot of people, critiqued that moment, but also showed him grace. Like, it's like, hey, he didn't intend it. It was obviously, intent does not matter when it comes to outcome, because, those people died. Yeah. But him doing that and then feeling like he can scrutinize so many people, other actors, now this former NFL player, like, I just wanted to bring that real quick to the audience. What do y'all think about that?
I think it's just funny that he said the words workplace. What was it? Workplace assault.
Let's see.
Somebody came to work to do a job and they were assaulted and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
where people come to work with an expectation of safety, even civility. He should be guilty of workplace abuse.
You know who else came to their job?
There you go.
Expectance of workplace safety.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm just like, why?
He probably wants to be like a voice for this kind of like, issue on life. But it kind of makes me think of Bo Burnham's Inside, like, special on Netflix. And it's like, can anyone at all shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
It's just like, we like
having
our opinions, and we like knowing other people have different opinions and similar opinions, but we don't need to know your opinions all the time. Like, not
it's just like
something.
Imagine everyone everywhere giving their opinion about everything at any given time, when you could just shut the fuck up. That's not what Bo Burnham said, but I know that was like the gist of it. I remember, because I think I similarly posted a TikTok using that sound, because it was around the time where everyone had an opinion about everything did on a movie or something, and it's just like, just be quiet. So those were my words for Alec Baldwin. Adam, what thoughts you got?
I don't really have any, honestly. It's just stupid. Like, you've got your own shit going on right now, and then
People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, you know?
Yeah, like, I just look. If somebody else said it, okay, but it's still like the person working there was the one that started this fight. So no matter what somebody said, and I work retail. I've worked retail most of my life. I've had people tell me they hope my family dies in a house. Like, I've had miserable things said to me, and I just go, okay. And there's nothing you can do. You can't start a fight at your job because of something somebody says. I mean, if that's the way the world worked, guess what? None of us will be doing social media or be content creators or.
Like, out of curiosity, Jordan, you said that Alec Baldwin said something about the whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. What was his opinion on that?
I think I'd have to look into it. I think he said something like, basically, Will Smith should be reprimanded, which also I have my own opinions about what happened with that. That's long news gone. So, but anyone can ask me, that what happened shouldn't have happened. But he defended Chris Rock after the slap, but then was just basically going on with all of these things, like just talking shit to Will Smith and like, oh, you could have done this. What you should have done was that. And this is how you should handle this situation. And it's just like, again, your incident just happened in October 2021. Just be quiet. Just hush.
My whole thought of it, honestly, it was what we've been talking about it for 5 minutes. That's 6 minutes too long that we gave light to somebody over some stupid shit that they've said. But it goes back to exactly what you said when I was talking was people who glass houses shouldn't throw rocks.
You just shouldn't, because that's all we're gonna do is be like,
or
wait
as Jacob
a minute.
Kindly
now.
just said, hey, can you do me a favor? Do me a favor? Shut the fuck up.
The fuck up.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just like, you should just be quiet. Sometimes you can tweet out that tweet, like you can type it up and then just hit the delete button,
Mm-hmm.
I do that plenty of times. There are many times I start to give an opinion on something just happening on the internet, and I'm like, it's not worth it.
I'll just in the drafts.
Leave it in the drafts. Hit up your group text.
Yeah.
You have your group text friends for yo. I can't talk out loud about this. Let me just hit you in the group chat real quick.
Like something I sent you guys yesterday.
I don't remember what it was.
that photo of the dumb comment that somebody gave.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Well, that's for later talk. Yes.
So we'll move off of his dumbass right now. So let's go to something we all love. So now, Jordan, if Jacob and I have watched it, Jordan, if there's 7 episodes of something, right? And let's say each episode is roughly an hour and let's see. So let's say the first 6 episodes are averaging an hour. No, because there's a reason. The first 6 episodes are an hour and 9-minute average. But that'd be probably accurate, Jacob?
Yeah.
Hour 9. So all 6 episodes are about an hour and 9 minutes. And then the 7th episode, the season finale, which is not the season finale, but for this half of Stranger Things, which I don't get why they say they gave us half. They gave us 7 episodes and only 2 coming in July. So that, and then the next one, well, the season finale is 2.5 hours. But like,
a movie.
Don't get me started on that shit. I'm fine with it, but everyone's like, oh, it's too long. And then they're like, Strange is too short. And it's just like, just pick. Just pick which one you want to argue about. Whether it's short or long, doesn't matter. As long as it's good, who cares? And then the finale for this half was an hour and 38 minutes. So collectively, probably 9 hours of Stranger Things, right? Between the 7 episodes. After that 9 hours, I could only think about an hour and 40 minutes of 2 episodes called KENOBI. I don't care what anyone says. That is the best Star Wars stuff probably ever. I think this show is going to be best thing they've ever put out. Better than Mandalorian.
My thing with Stranger Things is that, and I was telling Adam a little bit about this earlier, is they really do follow the same formula over and over again every season. And Jordan, now that you're watching it, you'll see it is the beginning of every season. I guarantee you can write it down on a notepad and check it off when it happens. They introduce 2 to 5 new characters. 2 to 5 new characters get introduced to the supernatural things that are going on. 2 to 5 new characters, same ones the entire time, become some of your favorites. And then 1 to maybe 2 of the 2 to 5 new characters get murdered off. Because Stranger Things, and I kept saying this to my fiance the entire time during the 4th season, whenever, blank character was threatened or this person was being stabbed to death or something, I kept saying out loud to my fiance, I was like, they don't have the balls. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And even Millie Bobby Brown said in an interview like 2 weeks ago, my main problem with Stranger Things is they don't have like the guts to kill off a character. And I was like, she's right. She's literally right. The only characters that they kill off, and sorry, this is a spoiler for you, Jordan, they're all minor.
I hear enough.
They're like medium characters.
Yeah, and like
they never go like that final jump to like get somebody like that's gonna really
minor. Like they're still like
expendable.
Carrot top type people. Like
they're B-list characters at best.
At best.
And it's just like I can only think of one of them that was a B-list character. The rest of them were C or D-list characters that you're like,
the one that died last year.
Yeah.
Or last season.
That sucks. I like that one, but
which they replaced him anyways.
Yeah, but it's just like I don't know. It stinks, but furthermore, with the character thing, they introduce the new characters. The other issue is that every stinking season, there's what, like 15 characters that have been around since the first season that have all been involved. So like Nancy and Steve and Eleven and all the boys. And,
watch them grow up, literally.
Mrs. Byers and Hopper. And I want to say there's like 2 or 3 that I'm forgetting. But all of these characters, they know about the Upside Down. They know about the Demogorgons. They know about the Mind Flayer. They know about all these like things. And every season, some shit happens. And they're like, oh no, Will could be dying or 11 is in trouble. And they don't tell each other. Like they will tell 4 other people, maybe. And it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, literally, what are you doing?
It's like one of those things. It's one of those things that you can be okay. You're like, okay, they're just writing, but then it's just like, okay, writers, like, come on, like,
like the first season. The first season, I understood it because it was just like, the kids wouldn't tell the parents wouldn't tell the kids. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Second season comes along, they all have been through it, and they know that each other has been through it. So it's like, why wouldn't you tell them?
Yeah,
because like they would be helping you.
Yeah.
And like it comes to a point where they do tell each other, but it's always at the end of the season, or it's like they only tell you a little bit of they only tell you a little bit of what actually happened. And it's it's very frustrating. But I
have shows like that where I love them, but it's frustrating.
Jacob and I talked about this. Is the first 5 episodes messy but okay, but the last 2 episodes really bring it together, and it ends well. It ends where you're like, oh my god, I want to watch the next 2 episodes, but that's not what I thought afterwards. What I thought afterwards was, it's been 9 hours since I watched KENOBI. Let me watch KENOBI again.
Yeah, I have shows like that where it's just like I think that's kind of how Blacklist is for me. Like I still watch it, still enjoy it, but it's like like I could of course
Grey's Anatomy. I mean, talk about a show that's the same thing season after season after season. Yes, how can I help you? My wife watches it.
The Flash.
Oh my god, yes.
Don't get me started.
Run, Barry, run.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Every single year, it's the same thing.
They do this every year.
They do this every year.
It's just
I
like
love,
it
I love
makes
saying
you
this
just
song.
really disappointed because the last season of Stranger Things came out 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Dude,
Maybe even longer than that. But it's just like you've had
all this
3
time.
years. You've had 3 years, which I know it takes a lot of time to film TV shows and make them good quality, but like you've had a
Change
little
that
extra
script.
time than what episodes
2016
get.
is when it came out. Stranger Things originally came out in 2016.
But what about
Season 2 was
season 3?
2017.
So season 3 was 2019.
Yeah, so season 3, hold on.
Blame the pandemic. That's all I do.
2019, yeah, July 4th, 2019, which makes sense. That is
Like,
true. I do remember that.
3 years, and yeah, if you want to blame the pandemic, you can, but like
But you could change the writing though.
that's extra time to work on the writing to make it not the same exact thing that you've done the past 3 seasons.
Well, the part about this is like they started to film this before pandemic a little bit. And then I think Millie had to do Sherlock and some other things got in the middle of it, Ghostbusters and stuff like that. And then it just kind of sat there because of pandemic. And then they all came back from pandemic and it was like, holy shit, you're all AARP members now. Like, I don't know what to do with grown ass adults to make them
you would
look
know
like
all about the AARP.
freshmen in high school. They send it to 20-year-olds now. Shut up. They start sending the envelopes to everybody. Relax.
No, but dang, that is insane to think about. Like,
and you see it too. Like when you go to watch this, the season 1 to season 2, not bad. Season 2 to season 3, you're starting to be like,
I remember people like not fawning, but like gawking over like the season 3 where it was like, yo, when the hell these kids got so big?
well, wait, because they go. Do you have any family members where you see them like every like 4 to 5 years?
Yes.
Think that. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, Mark has Mark's got a whole mustache now. Like, yeah, like that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. I thought it was okay. And I'm excited about the last 2 episodes, but other than that, I don't care.
TV shows gotta learn, man. Like, and I think that this is just, I don't know, because like you just said, because this is the 4th season, right? And you mentioned The Flash. I don't understand why shows after like the 3rd season, if you've done the same thing 3 seasons in a row, that 4th season, you gotta switch something, man. You gotta switch something. We can't keep having we can't have Run Barry Run for the 18th time over 6 seasons.
Watch them.
The issue is that every show needs a formula and they need to follow it. But when it's a formula that relies on suspense and like mystery and things like that, it doesn't make any sense for the viewers. Like, why are the characters not telling each other about this all now? Like,
you just eventually get mad. You're like, okay, they're just being stupid, even though you know they can't help it because they
like, all right, these kids are smart. Like, they would tell the adults because they know the adults would trust them with that information. And like,
they'd actually believe them.
There's even a scene in this recent season where like all the parents of the kids are mad at the kids, and you're like, y'all have seen some of the weird like crap that's gone on in this town, and you're not believing your kids. And it's just like, why don't you believe them yet? Like, because you know that these kids have been
like it's happened before.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's not, I guess I'm changing my mind, is that it's not the formula, it's just the writing. Because the formula isn't bad. Like, they can add the new characters and they can have like the bad guys from the Upside Down, like as it is every season. But when you're taking the writing and you're just being lazy with it, and it seems like you're just,
when you can see it, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's like you're dressing up season 2 and season 3 in a different costume. That's like what it feels like. That's just that's the writing's issue.
You can put a lipstick on a pig, but guess what?
Still a pig.
That's exactly. I'm 100% with him on that one.
I gotta let the guys know. Thank you for my education on Stranger Things. Viewers, I guess comment below hashtag Stranger Things if you want me to hurry up and get caught up so I can watch it.
You have to. I mean, it's something you do have to watch. I will say that
I want to watch it.
Like it's like a Squid Games. It's a moment. It's something you do need to watch.
It's something I want to be able to talk about with people.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only people who I ever heard about it from was my brother-in-law when he watched it when he was younger. He actually was probably like, shit, I don't know. He was probably like the same age as what the kids were playing as kids. Like maybe they weren't actually like that young, but they were playing kids that young. So he was really into Stranger Things in like season 1 and 2. And then I kind of stopped hearing about it from him.
I think 7th grade.
That would have been
like
that would have been the age he is because he's in high school now. And he's going to be a 10th grader actually. And so he kind of fell out of watching it, so I stopped hearing about it. Like he wanted me to watch it with him, and then like all of a sudden I came back home and from like college, and he was like out of that phase. But yeah, something I want to catch up on, be able to talk about, kind of understand all the stuff because I do hear about it a lot.
Okay, who wants to hold on? Who wants to nerd out?
God damn it, mine's upstairs.
Oh, well, you didn't think it through, did you? So, like we said, Star Wars Celebration is going on this week, and boy, the hate and toxicity is out. But other than that, Star Wars is winning. Star Wars is sitting there going, "That's cute, Marvel. That's cute, DC. We'll show you how it's really done." And we've gotten video game announcements. We got movie announcements. The big movie announcement was holiday season next year. We're getting a new Star Wars movie directed by Taika Waititi, which is going to be phenomenal. And the real question is, are we getting a Star Wars comedy movie?
True, because Taika is in.
I mean, Jojo Rabbit is a perfect Taika movie for me. And it's very dramatic, very powerful, but there is comedy to it. It's more of that artistic comedy, but I just don't see him doing that with Star Wars. Like if he does something serious with Star Wars, it would be weird to me.
I think we are going to get a typical Star Wars movie from him, but it's going to have at least 2 or 3 droids that make you crack up the entire time.
Almost kind of like what Solo was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I got you. I don't hate Solo, by the way. I don't think it's a horrible movie.
Nope.
Thank you.
Just be there. It just
sidebar. Did you see all the people blaming or Kathleen Kennedy, I guess, blaming the main actor for that?
We won't be doing early things. It's just like I thought he was great as Han. And first off, Childish Gambino as Lando is fire. It was the script. The script was horrible. His own show?
Yeah, Donald Glover's getting his own show as Lando.
Yeah.
And I actually was just reading it. Kathleen Kennedy said that like they want to put it out like yesterday, but Donald Glover's like busy as hell because he's
I don't know what he'd be working on because he was claiming putting out that last Gambino album like as Gambino. Mm-hmm. And then he had a bunch of other stuff that was supposed to come out. He was like, "Oh, there was one more rap album that was supposed to come out. It never happened."
He's like Kendrick right now.
He's like trying to work on getting an EGOT, which is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. But homie's just like he can't focus on one thing at a time. He's got 2 shows coming out.
Yeah,
and then he's also on top of that still has Atlanta, which just, came out with its recent season, and I'm just like, how is this guy going to film a Star Wars show on top of his busy schedule already? Like,
it ain't gonna
happen. I don't know how that's going to work.
For like 3 years.
He's perfect as Lando. I think he's perfect as anything. The guy knows how to act. He knows how to rap. He knows how to sing.
He's talented. I mean, it's just one of those oddly gifted humans, He
used to do stand-up comedy. Most people don't even know about that anymore.
Oh no, I used to listen to like Pandora like comedy radio. He would pop up on there and I'm like, Donald Glover.
yeah. Before the Gambino days, he was stand
I love
up
how
comedy,
nobody knows who his dad
all
is,
that.
though.
Who is his dad?
You're serious?
Probably. I don't
Here,
really
let
know
me
him
help
personally.
you. Let me help you here. Have you ever seen a movie called Lethal Weapon?
Oh yeah,
That's his dad.
had no clue. No
Seriously?
clue. Absolutely, had no clue.
Yeah. That's his dad.
Wow. Dang, that's crazy. So he been
Yes, Mel
been in
Gibson
the
is his
industry.
daddy. No,
He's so stupid.
Donald Glover Sr.
Yeah.
Donald Glover Sr.
Yeah, it's his dad. His dad's an actor. So
It explains it. Well, not
Yeah.
doesn't explain it, but like I didn't realize he's basically been introduced to the industry at a very young age. So it makes sense. The navigation.
yeah, Danny Glover. I'm like in my head, like, what's his name? What's his name? Danny Glover.
Well, it's Donald, but he goes by Danny. Yeah.
Had no clue.
Mhm.
Had no clue. Never really thought to look into it. I've only, for those of you listening or watching, I only just now in the past year really gotten into knowing people's names. Normally I'm hey, they play, that's the dude who
Oh,
plays
that's my favorite.
M'Baku. I am the Leonardo DiCaprio meme. That's
Yeah.
who is that? But yeah, on Star Wars though, I know you said a lot of news for Star Wars in general. They had trailers for shows.
The new show, the
Andor.
John Watts TV show that we're getting, starring Jude Law, Skeleton Crew.
That's
Okay,
why
but
that man
here's the
dropped
thing.
off from Spider-Man and
I'm
the
like-
Fantastic Four.
I'm like excited because whenever they announced that show, they said, yeah, it's about like a couple of kids and they're lost in the Star Wars universe and they're trying to get home. And the only person that they announced for that show was Jude Law. And everybody in the room, as well as everybody at home, was like, is this Thrawn? Are y'all
Yeah.
putting Thrawn in this? Because Jude Law would be a perfect Thrawn.
No, they've already casted a live action Thrawn.
Oh, who was it?
So Thrawn is the main villain in the new Ahsoka show. And it's it's the actual voice actor who does Thrawn for Rebels.
Good. Because that's who I originally had wanted, but whenever I saw Jude Law in that, I was like, what's Jude Law doing with a bunch of kids?
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be an
What you
interesting
doing?
show.
And while we're talking on this, like casting back and forth stuff, right? So Jude Law from obviously Harry
From
Potter.
his renowned role in Captain Marvel.
Well, also in Captain Marvel. So like Marvel and Star Wars like to share people occasionally, right?
I mean, it might be because they're owned by the mouse, but you know.
Yeah, Jordan, help me. Jordan, this is gonna be a clip. You ready?
Okay, go for it.
What do you guys think about Ewan McGregor playing Professor Xavier for the X-Men movie?
Why has no one said this before?
I haven't said. Don't you
that.
motherfuckers take it. I have the video. I have it sitting there.
You guys ready for a fan cast?
No,
Bro, the fan
I
cast
have
is
it.
injury.
As soon as I do this, as soon as we're done with this, I'm putting it out because I did a video beforehand. How great
That
would Ewan McGregor be? And not only that,
gives us a good in between. Sorry, go ahead.
Hayden Christensen as Magneto.
Okay, no.
That I knew that one was gonna be too far.
I think
you could say Hayden Christensen as Magneto, but once you put them both as opposite roles, I'm like, this is just.
It's like, okay, you're just using the past.
No, but I thought about it. I was sitting there like Ewan McGregor as Professor Xavier would be fantastic.
No,
it would actually be a very good in between because like
yes.
you've had Patrick Stewart, who is, you know, much older. You've had James McAvoy as the younger, and then we got to see him bald. Didn't make him look much older. He just looked bald. But then Ewan McGregor would be like a very good, like, to get like a new, not as old for adult X-Men, but not as young for like teenage X-Men like James McAvoy. You could get like
the more seasoned, like the perfect.
You get that 17 to like 22-year-old X-Men.
The medium rare,
kids.
not the well done, not the rare, medium rare.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. He would look good for it. I think he'd be a good age.
And then what's the guy's name who's playing Elvis? Do you remember his name?
Dude, I don't know.
That's getting all the praise in the world. Him
What's
is Cyclops.
That Elvis movie?
Anyways,
playing Elvis. He got crickets on that one.
I'll tell you. I forget his name, but I mean, he's getting all sorts of praise for this movie. But back to Star Wars. What a list, right? Like, and we got a Andor trailer.
Also,
and,
news.
I mean, if you looked it up online, we got a leaked Mandalorian 3 trailer.
Yes, saw that.
Also, I did not look at the leak, but as far as games go, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, sequel to Fallen Order.
But have you seen the bigger part of this?
I don't think so. Probably
this
not.
takes place 5 years after the first game in timeline for that, which puts it in the timeline of Obi-Wan.
So we might see like Inquisitors.
Yeah, the other thing that was the other thing with leading up to Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor said that this show ties in to a canon Star Wars game. And a lot of people were saying, oh, maybe it's like what was that?
Knights of
the Republic.
And I was like, no. And then
you're way too late on that one.
Yeah, I was just like, a bunch of smart people were saying, oh my gosh, Jedi Fallen Order, is Cal Kestis going to be in this? And I was like, this would be the perfect time to have Cal Kestis in live action because it's the time period that we're already familiar with Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
And it's about Inquisitors. Like, it's literally the perfect time. Like, this should be it. But the other thing is, whenever they announced Ahsoka, did y'all hear that they're not only going to have a live action Harrison Dula from Rebels, but they're also going to have Chopper's first live action appearance? And
they have most of that cast.
I know,
from Rebels.
because that apparently Ahsoka, like with Thrawn being the main enemy, this show's probably going to have a live action Ezra Miller, which is what fans have been praying for forever.
Is his name really Ezra Miller?
You keep saying Ezra Miller.
You keep saying this because you made me think about that one time. Ezra Bridger. Jeez.
Yeah, I was like,
episode 1 crap that we're doing now. Ezra Bridger, which fans have been begging for a long time, and then we're also probably going to get like maybe a Force ghost of Caleb Doom, aka Kanan Jarrus.
Well, look, yeah, and for all intents and purposes, it seems like this is like the sequel to Rebels that we're getting.
Oh yeah. Like,
or she's still looking for Ezra.
Yep. I cannot wait because I think Ahsoka could potentially be the show that gets every base Star Wars fan into Rebels and Clone Wars.
And it ties everything together. Really kind of does.
Like a bow. Not gonna lie, Star Wars, when you really think about it, and then after this, maybe we actually get into thoughts on like the Obi-Wan show, because I feel like we actually go around.
Star Wars cornucopia going on right now.
There's a lot of Star Wars, and
it's like it's like the Golden Corral of Star Wars right now. It's all you can eat. Here you go, and we're not even done yet. It's only Saturday.
It's Golden Corral, but quality.
Yeah,
where you can get General Tso's chicken and pizza at the same time
on the same
on your pizza.
On the
pineapple.
This man ate pineapple pizza before this podcast.
I did. I want Hawaiian pizza is low key probably the best pizza.
We're not doing this. So with all the Star Wars, I'm not gonna lie. Similarly to how I think with Marvel, they have a lot of source material through comics. But Star Wars does have that leg up on them that they've been in cinema for a long time. So, like, there is so much that just can tie together. They've had so many shows, books. I mean, it's insanity. Because I know for me, for a more casual standpoint, I did get to watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, watch it today. And from a more casual standpoint, I know that there's probably things that I missed because I was like, I feel like this is more important than I should. But the thing that I think the show has done really well is if you're familiar and you've seen at least, enough of the prequels, I mean, and you're just familiar with the lore in general, Obi-Wan Kenobi does a very good world building for like that beginning. and you get enough to know what is going on, and I enjoyed it. I will say I was stressed in episode 2 or the second episode. I was just like, bruh, all right. If you haven't seen it, spoilers, but like it's not even really heavy spoilers. I'm just saying Leia stressed me out. That's all I was gonna say.
I just like the entire time I was watching it, I kept making the joke to the people I was watching it with. I was just like, do you think Obi-Wan's gonna survive? Oh no, do you think Leia's gonna live? And I was just like, I like how they put you like it's the same thing as the Solo like thing where they put in the trailer Chewbacca almost gets hit by a train, and you're like, yeah, we know they're gonna live. What is this threatening their lives?
I'm not gonna lie. I am gonna make a video. I was gonna make a TikTok, and I am gonna be like, yo, major spoiler alert for the end of Obi-Wan Kenobi, bro.
He lives.
Obi-Wan survives. I'm definitely making that video. I don't care if it doesn't
starts going by Ben Kenobi again, and like
I'm gonna fangirl for a second. The reason, and for whoever's listening, my face has been shock face for the last like 5 minutes, because I got Jacob looks at Twitter because it literally verbatim what he said about Kathleen Kennedy was what she said on Twitter about Kenobi or about Lando. But a little bit further down, Hera will return in Ahsoka from Rebels.
That's what I just said.
I didn't hear. I'm thinking not Hera. I was thinking someone else, and I saw it. I was like, wait, Hera? Oh my God, Hera's returning.
Yeah, Harrison. They said Harrison Dula is going to return. Chopper is going to return, and
oh wait, did you see the Sabine cast?
Sabine is going to return, and they
Natasha Liu.
Yeah, the cast
is going to play,
which I'm super pumped for.
Jacob said he'd been on his news. He said VonSchweetz gets the big
we all
scoop.
Be excited though. Mandalorian, who's showing up in a Mandalorian? Hey,
I can't with you.
I think this next season of Mandalorian, because it premieres in December, right? Or February.
February next year.
I think that season is going to heavily tie in to Ahsoka.
Yes, or not into, but like, yes, it'll tie into Ahsoka.
I think it will.
Are you thinking the same episodes as I am in Rebels?
Yeah.
That's where I think it ties. I think it's going to set that up heavily. Also, Sasha Banks just walked away from the WWE kind of. So like, I'm just saying she's got time on her hands. She could do tons of stuff.
This man fan casting.
She was in Mandalorian.
You guys, this is an original idea. Have you thought about this?
I don't know actor's name. Sorry.
This is a personal. I came up with this a couple minutes ago.
Oh, theory? Didn't you have theory on Twitter?
Fan cast. Ewan McGregor as Professor Xavier. Now I go from a TikTok about it.
Now I definitely can tell you have COVID. You've lost all taste of humor as well.
All right. Anyway, I do have a theory for Obi-Wan. It's not like a major theory, but if you have seen Rebels, you know the Grand Inquisitor, which I think his race is the Puans, right? Is that what they're called?
What?
I'm calling the wrong thing. What's the Grand Inquisitor? What's his race called?
I believe that's it.
I'm looking it up.
Grand Inquisitor
race.
Who I don't know how to pronounce it, but it starts with a P and it ends with an N.
Powan.
Puin.
Anyway, so this is my theory for Obi-Wan Kenobi is that the Grand Inquisitor, aka a Powan, it's really rare that they would have the next Grand Inquisitor, if he did die at the end of episode 2, be another Powan, like he was in Rebels. Yeah. I think it's the same guy.
I do too.
I don't think that they're retconning Rebels. I think that would be stupid.
Well, Jordan and I got into the conversation on text, and he was like, "What's?" I was like, "He's gonna take a milk bath. He'll be fine. Like, we're good."
Yeah, they're just gonna put him in a bacta tank. Like,
yeah, like you're good.
But my theory is for Obi-Wan is that the Grand Inquisitor, even though he was stabbed, we've seen people go through much worse, like Darth Maul getting fully sliced in half and still survive. I think he's gonna put in a back to tank by the other Inquisitors, not Reva, and he's gonna be awoken after he heals. He's gonna tell Vader about what happens, and we've never really seen Obi-Wan brutally murder someone. We've seen him chop off limbs and leave someone for dead. But, so I don't think he's going to end up killing Reva in this show. I think Vader's going to kill Reva in this show.
Psychopath, like in Rogue One.
He's going to be like, you've literally lost it. Like you're supposed to be fighting for me, but you
disobeyed me, and I'm telling you what to do.
And you tried to kill my Grand Inquisitor, so I'm going to kill you now. And I think that's where the show is going to stop midway through, and he's going to become the main villain, or it'll continue and she'll die at the end. But I'm really praying that Vader becomes a much bigger thing, and not like kind of what other shows have done, where they're like, when's
the ominous background, like Thanos was for a long time. Like Thanos was for a long time, that ominous background character. But from what we've seen from everything from Ewan McGregor and everyone else, he's not. He's very much a part of the show. And I don't know if you guys heard when Ewan McGregor was talking about, he never got to work with like Vader. It was always Anakin and other people. So like he said, there was this moment, and he hadn't seen Hayden in the suit yet, where they were like, okay, this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. He'll be coming. Okay. They say action. He's kind of running, and he turns, and he said there was a moment of actual like fear and terror in him, because there's Vader running at you, one of the best villains ever in any media form, running at you full force. Like he said, it was just chilling kind of to see the full suit. So I think Vader is very much heavy in Kenobi.
Yeah,
that last scene they gave us right before, at the end of episode 2, the like 2-second little thing.
But they also had that clip in the trailers of his like breastplate being put on with the lights on it,
the back piece and the front. Yeah,
and I'm like, if that's the last scene of episode 3, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, it better be the first scene of episode 3, because I want to see him immediately in episode 3, now that we've teased him in episode 2.
Yeah. You don't need to like tease him being assembled at the end of each episode, and then he literally just shows up.
Well, because remember, this is going to be like start to finish fast now, because there's only 4 more episodes. It's only a six episode season.
Fucking 6 episode show.
And we just got 2, so there's only 4 left. So like Jacob's saying, if he's going to come out and like go after, I think this next episode is kind of a setup of Reva going after Kenobi, and we learning that she was a Padawan or a youngling and escaped, and she turned to the dark side because she feels like Obi-Wan left them all or whatever nonsense, and that's why she has that disdain, hate for him. But Darth Vader now senses that in her and stuff, and I think that's going to be the setup for episode 5. Episode 5 end of episode 4 is when we get like Vader-ish stuff, and then I think 5 and 6 are like heavy Kenobi Anakin or Kenobi Vader stuff.
We just need that rematch. That's all anybody asked for, and we know it's coming. But
I love how
it's very good.
We've been talking all about this. Who thought we were getting Leia? Anybody think we were getting Leia?
I didn't.
Cried my eyes out.
I cried like a baby. Like when they were dressing up the first girl that we all thought was Leia, I was like, no way. And then it was revealed it wasn't her, and I was like, oh, okay. But then her mom walked in, and I was like, we are getting Leia. Like, there's no way they're showing us her mom and not going to show us Bail Organa and Leia Organa. And then sure enough, they did. And I was like,
I'm like,
by the way, shout out to that little girl. She schooled her cousin when she was talking shit. I was having fun listening to her.
That little actress is Carrie Fisher reincarnate. Like, that little girl is Leia Organa. Like, it's weird. It's weird watching her on screen. The other thing I wanted to say about this episode, the other thing I wanted to say about this episode was, I was talking to the people I was watching it with, and they were saying how well it ties together the prequel series thus far, or like the prequel trilogy. But I personally believe it ties together the sequel trilogy a lot, just because, kind of like what Adam was saying, I think it was in one of his TikToks, that it takes a little girl, Rey, or young Leia, bringing somebody out of their cutoff, or I guess turning away from using the Force, as in Luke with Rey and Obi-Wan with Leia. But my favorite part of the entire show so far was after she has that fight with her cousin and she schools him, and she goes and she's talking to her dad, Bail Organa, and she says, he said, I wasn't a real Organa.
Yeah.
And he kneels like beside her and he says like something along the lines of like, you have more Organa heart inside of you than anyone I know. That to me was Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau and everybody saying, you guys remember that time you said Rey wasn't a Skywalker? Well, Leia's an Organa, aka Leia, or Rey is a Skywalker.
She has more Skywalker in her than
she has more Skywalker
Palpatine.
in her than Palpatine in her. So I know nobody else was thinking about it with my group watching it, because they just were like, yeah, that was a good line. But I was sitting there watching it going, Rey Skywalker.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you have a video to make after this.
Yeah, I got to make it before Adam makes his
before I put it out
as Professor Xavier, because I got to make that one too and be like, no one else has thought of this, but
watch you and I both make it.
You should. That's not disrespectful.
He'll get a million views on it, and I'll get like 100.
I'm not gonna make it. I will say though, whenever we did this last week, we were both like, "Oh, race to see whoever makes the video," talking about the budget of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then She-Hulk. And Adam made his video, and I made my video. We probably both made them
literally same time for the most part.
But I put mine in my drafts for a little bit. Adam posted his, and I said, "I'm still posting mine." Adam, you got what, a couple 100,000 likes, maybe?
Yeah, like 1,000 likes.
And then
or 1,000 views.
I posted mine. I said roughly the exact same shit as Adam. I'd like, words were not very different.
No.
I ended up getting, I think it's at like maybe 20,000 or above likes right now.
You asshole.
Yeah.
What you're saying is you're an asshole.
Damn, bro.
He couldn't even fucking like tag me to be like, oh, great idea from this human being. Like,
Adam commented and said, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. And I was waiting for him to be like TikTok in general, but like, why don't you stick to like bingo, you fucking old shit?
It all has to do with the ratios, man. There's a ratio of amount of push out per people that you got on your following. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, no.
I'm not gonna make that a regular video. I was just messing with you.
You can,
but I will comment and I will duet and stitch the hell.
I will congratulate. I'm gonna, before you even like remotely put it together, congratulations on the 100,000 views on it. What was this? Yeah, no, it's crazy right now with the Star Wars stuff though. Like, speaking of Star Wars, because it's so weird to have such a love, and it's different. I feel like Star Wars has always been a different beast than Marvel, DC, Walking Dead. It's a love, like a disgustingly alcoholism, like love for something. And when somebody has an opinion that does not ride with what you're thinking or how you feel of it, it just turns toxic so quick. And that's what I hate. It's such a great community, but it's just riddled with this toxicity. Like, we're getting all this great stuff. And I'll even read I'll read the thing I sent you guys just so everyone understands, like this is how shitty of a thing it is. So a mutual of mine had a video, and he's a diehard Star Wars. So he only does Star Wars content. Somebody actually put on there in a comment to a video he did for Kenobi, only reason Third Sister is getting any attention and lines at all is to force a token black woman into the show. She's a terrible actress. That's literally what somebody put. Now,
in 2 fucking episodes. Jesus
also,
Christ.
she's not a horrible actress. Know your shit. Second of all, Jacob, what was it you said earlier?
Some people just learn to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up. First of all, it has no legs of it has no intelligence of an actual argument. At this point, just comment, I'm racist. Like literally, that's all you gotta put. Then okay, cool, good for you. Bye.
I've made this video before, but like Star Wars is literally not for bigots and racists.
Yeah,
it's like the whole fucking point of the story, isn't it?
It's not. Like George Lucas himself is married to a person of color. They have children of color. Like he made, for a reason, the Galactic Empire and everyone in it a white man or sometimes a white woman. And all the rebels are different aliens, different people of color, some white people. Like the only reason that I believe he put Luke and Leia as the main characters, the original trilogy, was so that way white people would boost it.
If I actually remember, originally they weren't going to. So there's a story that I read where originally they were not going to have a white main character. It was going to be a black male as a main character playing Luke. And somebody came and said, that's going to be a career-ending thing. Like, don't do that. And they listened, and George listened, and he still hates that he listened.
I mean, if we're being honest, it probably wouldn't have been successful, and it sucks. But like,
it wouldn't back in the first Star Wars came out. Yeah,
77. You know,
that's how the world worked back then, and it's still a bit of how the world works now, because we even
100%.
saw it with Finn and what Disney did to his character. And like, as soon as I saw Reva in the promo and the show, like the episodes itself, I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
it's the only person that's been in Star Wars that is a person of color and hasn't gotten a bunch of shit and still got some shit was Samuel L. Jackson, and that's just because he's a token fan favorite of white people. And it's just like Finn got a bunch of shit, Rose Tico got a bunch of shit. Like it,
I'll never forgive what happened to Finn, bro.
I know
that man was supposed to be a Jedi.
I won't either.
Well, I know they talked about like maybe bringing him back at some point to be a Jedi or like do a side project of some sort, but like at this point it's like, why? That's like sitting there going, oh, have to agree with this, hey, we did something, we kind of are sorry, we want to like fix it. If I was him, I'd be like, hey, do me a favor, kick rocks.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it, because I would want John Boyega to respect himself a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
but anyway, sometimes all that to say, do I think that she's a great actor? No, there were points where I was like, meh, but
like the chase scene isn't great, but that's the movie, not her.
Do I think that she was a terrible actor, or that she's even a bad addition to the show? Not at all.
Yeah.
I think that this is another part of the theory that I was going to say, but I forgot about it. And people have already started saying this. You know, I've said that eventually Vader is going to be the one to kill Reva. But I also believe the reason she's so attached to Obi-Wan and finding Obi-Wan is because that first scene that we got in Obi-Wan Kenobi is of her as a youngling escaping with other younglings. And you even hear, I believe it was second brother saying to her, or maybe it was the Grand Inquisitor.
It was Grand Inquisitor.
We found you in the gutter. Like,
yeah, it was Grand Inquisitor.
And it was just like, oh, maybe this is, they escaped. They were living in the lower levels of Coruscant as just younglings or Jedi younglings that have no one now. And she eventually found out that Obi-Wan was out there and blamed him because she had to watch all those other younglings die of starvation or being hunted down or, whatever. and she blames Obi-Wan for not being there because he was still alive.
Wow, I literally just hit me almost like Killmonger in a way. I get where you're going with it. Like, Killmonger sitting there, like just the stewing of, I watched everyone suffer. I watched my people suffer in the US, and you could have done something to fix it.
And then my dad was killed.
Yeah, my dad was killed. It's very similar-ish to that. I get that.
I was thinking similar thing earlier when you were mentioning Reva, and in general I was like, oh, they did have the one scene right at the very beginning with the kids, because so it does check out why she, because that's what I was curious about, was
there
her
was a
like
little black
obsession
girl like in the center of all those young ones too. So I was like,
I think she was the one who said we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Dang, this show gonna be heavy.
Well, otherwise, if you think about it, there wasn't really a point to that scene.
No,
I didn't even think about it until you said something.
They like showing us Order 66. Don't get me wrong; they love breaking our hearts.
But
there was no tie. There was no tie to that scene at all, other than telling us, "Hey, it happens after Order 66." But then it goes 10 years later, and you're like,
no, I agree. I think, and it's the same thing with Marvel now, right? If you think about it, like there's growth, because look at the original Avengers to now, and it's just different. And people for some reason can't get behind it because it's not my comics, or it's not like it wasn't a show. Well, guess what? It's somebody else's adaptation of it. Fuck, Star Wars is somebody else's adaptation of Dune. Like, move on.
Yeah. So I know for this in general, as far as the story and everything with Star Wars, I have some of the least to say, just because I'm a newer fan. And again, I know even that can be controversial, right? Like, it can be controversial to be like, oh, I haven't seen every single thing or watched every single cartoon.
You're not a real fan.
What? Yeah, you muted. It hesitated. He hesitated.
Say it one more time.
I said you're not a real fan.
Yeah, you get all that stuff, right? But obviously, people just coming for this woman on her acting ability from literally seeing her for 2 episodes. It's not like we see her the entire time.
Like collectively, what? 15 minutes of acting?
Right. Like, and it, again, it's just because out of the 3 Inquisitors we see, she's the only Black woman. And again, just say you're racist, bro. It's so much easier to just say you're racist. I mean, and again, as someone who has experienced plenty of racism, like, just be open about your racism. The little hiding in plain sight with the trying to be like, oh, it's just woke culture and blah, blah, blah. Just say you don't want to see a Black person be a main character, bro. Yep. Just say that.
Yeah, it's stupid. It all needs to go away. And it's the only way you enjoy anything, right? Like, is just enjoy the story they're giving you with the people they're giving it. Move on.
And if you don't like it, that's okay.
Cool. And share your opinion, but understand there's repercussions for opinion sometimes. Yes, you've got freedom of speech. Doesn't mean I don't get to punch you in the face after what you say.
Now, freedom of consequences. Freedom of speech don't mean freedom of consequences. Especially with racism, because it's just too much. It's just too much. Stupid. And back to John Boyega, I'll never forgive that. They had them trailers holding that blue lightsaber, and I was like, oh my God, another Jedi who looks like me.
JK.
Pretty much.
Well, really brought the mood in at the end, guys. Here we go.
But we loved Obi-Wan Kenobi.
2 episodes of Obi-Wan, though.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic. Yeah, like
probably my favorite Star Wars show, period, so far.
The second episode literally gave us all 9 movies.
Yeah, somebody was saying that the second episode, I was seeing it on TikTok, a bunch of people were saying that the second episode was the weakest, and I was like, I feel like this show's only getting better. Like literally, you had Darth Vader.
You have blown out.
I was like, you literally had Darth Vader teased at the end of the second episode, and you had literally Obi-Wan recalling Satine and Padme within one line, and like there was none other than peak Star Wars in that episode. I don't know.
Got young Luke, young Leia, like.
Yep. And you have Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. How could you
Thank
not?
you. Thank you. Yo, when I saw the behind the head of him, I went, shut up, that's Flea. And then it showed him, I was like, it's Flea.
I literally, as the biggest Back to the Future fan, I was sitting there going, is that Flea?
So funny. I didn't think of Back to the Future. What movie do you think I thought of? What other movie is Flea in? Point Break.
No, I haven't seen Point Break.
Oh, great movie. Great movie.
The Mean Swing, Point Break.
One other thing real quick from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, two other things. First of all, when Reva, I've already said, if you listen to this, we be talking about the shows after we watch them. So yeah. Hopefully you watched it. When Reva cut that woman's hand off, I was like, dadgum, she is
that's ruthless. The one thing that I got confused about, though, because she cut that woman's hand off just for saying, like, we're on the Outer Rim. What are you talking about? But then Camille Nanjiani is straight up fucking with her, and she just pushes him.
You do know it's a nod. Man. You guys do know it is a nod, right?
Camille
Nanjiani, like her cutting the hand off.
Yeah, it's a.
Oh yeah, it was.
It's a nod to Luke getting his hand cut off.
No, I got that, but I was just
it's her temperament.
The character that violent and that irrational. Then you surprised that Camille Nanjiani's still alive.
I thought she was.
One was a public display. The other one was her feeling she's powerful and toying with him.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. Yeah, it was like she was like, I just want to see where he is, and she just moved on to the next thing. And then the next thing, the last.
Oh, I see the Schwartz. Your Schwartz is as big as mine.
Nah, your Schwartz. The last thing is Leia, fam. First of all, that girl was funny. That little girl was hilarious. When she just decided to run off, though, I was like, girl, like, where are you going? Like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, everyone's after you because of me. You have people shooting at you, and you're still running from the man who is at least protecting you. But it also, I mean, I'm probably going to have feelings during the show because as an expecting father of a little girl, I am probably going to just be sitting here emotional. So y'all, if you're listening, rate the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're watching a YouTube video, like and subscribe to the channel because it'll boost my morale. Thanks.
It's funny because like you guys brought up how Fisher-esque she kind of gives a performance and meeting Carrie and getting to talk to her and stuff 3 months before her passing. And
what a flex.
It's just, I was remembering it. I remember sharing that Coke with Carrie. I remember the conversation. I remember how nice
Coca-Cola, guys.
Yeah, Coca-Cola. Sorry, I forgot I was talking about Carrie. My bad. So look, we're not like, look, Carrie wasn't great when she was younger. I'm just saying. Anyways, but yeah, Carrie Fisher, amazingly, genuinely nice human being, and their dog. Her dog's great. She brings her dog everywhere with her. But yeah, it just really brought me like that second episode just flashed me back to like when I was super young, because you guys got Jacob too, I guess. You guys were like kids when the prequels came out.
Right.
I was in like high school or 8th grade-ish, something like that. And
when you can remember.
Yeah, and I went and watched it and stuff like that. So that was the conversation we had of like the prequels were your guys' Star Wars. Like for me, I grew up Star Wars. I mean, my dad brought me to the theater, like we've said before, brought me to the theater for Return of the Jedi. Like I was in the theater for the original pressing of that. Let's what it is. And now, fast forward.
Did TVs have color back then?
Why are you like this?
Look at him. His gears are turning right now. He's like, what's my comeback?
Oh, no, I have one. I'm just deciding if I'm being nice or is this turning
really
into...
sad.
Or is this turning to Night at the Apollo or Def Comedy Jam? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do currently at the moment.
Here's what's sad. I was about to be like, were there cup holders? But then I was like, never mind.
Yeah, all the seats in the theaters were wood. There was no cup holders.
Was that the theater where Lincoln was shot?
Yeah, actually, I actually had to clean that theater when I was a child.
I actually saw that area when I was in DC. I think the tour guide said something about it, but that's funny.
I was in DC when it was just D. There was no C yet.
One day we're gonna stop making the old jokes at him. Probably not. I'm lying.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you can always make the jokes at me that I don't ever know anybody's name or watch anything.
In fairness, I don't remember anyone's name either. But like, because that's because I'm 97. Me and John Williams are actually the same age. We went to high school together.
Not him coping with self-depreciating humor.
Yes, that's how it works. Anyway, so like it's an interesting visual for me, like a thought, because I am older, thinking my Star Wars is your guys's prequels. And if you think about it, the millennials now, or these kids now, they aren't millennials. What the hell are they called? Jordan, what are you guys now?
First of all, I'm a millennial. Gen Z is the one after me.
Gen Z, these Gen Zs or whatever the hell they are now, their Star Wars and their prequels are the sequels. So how funny is it? Like, we're sitting here like praising Obi-Wan or Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor for coming back, and the love fest that's going on with that. Could that be something we see in another 10 to 15 years with that cast? I don't think it is, though. I think they got the love and all that stuff. Those sequels, and coming from older person watching, they were like my generation and older, they shit on the prequels. And it's your guys is giving the love now, and being in the space of creators and running companies and movie execs and things like that. They're finally giving the roses to the prequels to like actually come back and be good. I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, I just think it's great. I think it's absolutely great.
One thing that I was thinking about when I was watching Obi-Wan was it's kind of disappointing.
Oh, look at this asshole. Can't fucking mute his phone.
It's kind of disappointing with the with how the sequels, I feel like the sequel trilogy didn't really give us a whole lot of I don't even know what to call it, but you know how the prequel trilogy had a very different look.
Yes.
Compared, like, as far as like the tech and like the different different fighters that they flew on. The sequel trilogy really just said, here's some nostalgia.
Well, if you think about it, here's the other part of it, right? Who directed the original Star Wars movies?
I don't know.
Well, Lucas was still in charge. George Lucas was still in charge of it, right?
He didn't direct them.
But correct. Okay, so I'm sorry. So who is still in charge of them? George Lucas.
George Lucas.
Who is in charge of the prequels? George Lucas. And then the sequels happen, bought by Disney. What's Disney really great at?
Not including George Lucas.
Yeah, and just giving you nostalgia. And I think now that's why we, and Clone Wars did fix a lot of the hate for the prequels. The show, Clone Wars. But I think now Disney's starting to understand, like, hey, maybe we messed up with these sequels. Let's build, because if you look at it, they're not giving us anything. They're not giving us anything further. They're just staying in that
building
sweet
within
spot.
that older timeline.
They're building in that sweet spot right now that's really hot. And they're like, hey, okay, well, we're sorry. Here's Ewan McGregor. Here's Hayden Christensen. Here's Lando. Here's other skeleton crew. I think, mark me wrong tomorrow, but at the very end, the very last panel, imagine this, right? Everyone's in the Hall H, we'll call it, and they're sitting there, and they've given us all this nonsense all week, and we're like, well, what's the biggest thing they can give us? It goes dark completely in there, and all of a sudden, all you hear is, and you hear the Saber go on, and then just red lettering Vader, and we actually get a Vader show.
For me, I think that one's going to be a lot harder to sell just because they have stuck with the events of the comic books really well, or they've tiptoed around them. And with Vader has the most comic books out of any of the Star Wars characters. So I feel like that one's going to be a lot harder for them to write. And if they wanted that to be done and done well and successful, Dave Filoni would have to be directing every episode.
Or
Bryce Dallas Howard.
There you go.
Or Jon Favreau.
No. Back. Because they announced, she's getting one episode.
I saw that and I was
in
like,
Mando. And, well, I don't know if you saw my tweet. I was like, that's like asking a chef of a 3-star Michelin restaurant to make me a fucking appetizer and not a 10-course meal. Like, I want her to do something Star Wars. Because if they don't contract her, mark my words, Marvel's going to grab her to do a show. Not that she can't. I just think she needs to stay in the world of Star Wars. She's just so good at it.
How does it work if Marvel grabs her? Can't Disney just be like, go back over here?
It's like those schools that have like 2 4th grade classes, and you're just like, no, go back over there. Like you're causing trouble over here.
Well,
same school, just different classrooms. Yeah, tons of stuff with that. It's just more Star Wars, and obviously we'll talk about more of it next week because they're going to talk, give stuff today, tomorrow. Did they do anything else now? I'm like literally looking at Twitter as we're doing this. Woo!
Yeah, stuff be popping up. Wait, is there more for real?
Hold on.
Yep.
3 episodes of Tales of the Jedi will focus on Ahsoka in different parts of her journey. And they just showed Ahsoka with a hold on. I'm getting
putting
this.
It up for the screen so people can
I
see
am putting it up for the screen. I do not care. Hold on.
Make sure your search history's not up.
It's it wouldn't make a difference either way. Thank you. Don't be mean like that. No. Where is it? There. Look at that.
So it's animated?
It looks like it is animated. Or this could be a storyboard. Like a storyboard piece. Actually, funny we bring up storyboards. One of my friends got oh no, I can't find you guys. One of my friends actually got a storyboard or got The Boys already or early because that comes out next week.
Oh yes,
it's not.
Boys next week.
It's not finished. So like parts of the show that he's watching, the VFX aren't done, and it's just like weird looking and choppy, or there's nothing and it's just storyboard photos on it. That's what Amazon sent them.
They sent out early screen stuff.
The early screeners, and it's not done.
I mean, I've heard of it not being done, like as far as like CG, but like to have storyboard panels is a little weird.
I mean, I believe it because they're doing with Prime. They're not doing the Netflix model of releasing it all at once. Like.
But if they're giving early access to people, like I get watching it early and like getting the story and stuff, but
yeah, if they were giving
to be watching it and then like
things that were
that's like some people who've watched the first 2 episodes of Miss Marvel that they gave out, right? Like imagine the VFX not being done there, and you get the story, which is okay, but like it's never the same unless like you get the full thing, then you get the effects and stuff. You know what I mean?
It also said. Sorry, before we leave topic, it also said the Tales of the Jedi bit that Liam Neeson will be returning as the voice of Qui-Gon Jinn.
So I'm telling you, we will get Qui-Gon Jinn in Kenobi.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's gotta happen. It's got to. Well, they even if you watch the recap, they talked about they had the thing where Yoda says, "I'm gonna teach you how to do this," and it's been 10 years. It could just be he still hasn't been able to do it yet.
Well, so also don't forget there's that photo of him in the cave, and it's blue, which we thought we were going to get in that first episode, but I think it's Qui-Gon comes to him later.
Yeah. They hinted at it. They just won't leave this man alone.
They won't.
can you just do your just pay your power bill? Jesus, they'll leave you alone if you pay them.
Nah, he's got more Funkos behind him that he can't pay.
It's actually all of that was bought by a loan shark, and that's his loan shark. He won't call back.
I want to show y'all something, and for those of you watching, y'all get to see a little bit extra. So we're moving in November, but we're also getting married in November. So we're trying to like pack now, so
Congrats
our lives are crazy.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 of these big boxes behind me are just Funkos.
It's funny. I think about you while I'm at work because we get the boxes, but they're full of just Funko. Like it's just Funko all over. And I'm just like, oh, Jacob would go crazy right now for this.
I will say all the ones in the boxes though are not Spider-Man. The ones behind me are only Spider-Man.
Hey, Jacob.
Oh. Is that the Chase? Yeah, that's your Chase one.
Yours is still at the store. I still have it on the side for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so lots this week. Like Meg said,
next week's gonna be like vacation for us.
Pretty much.
What are you talking about? We still get Obi-Wan.
But one day, and there's there's not stuff just vomiting everywhere, all over the place.
That's not, but I mean
nothing new.
It's also
the boys.
It's also the first week of a new month, so I feel like a lot of news is going to be coming out next week, even though it won't be another episode or something. So we're going to get Obi-Wan next week, and we're also going to get the boys. And I kid you not, I'm so pumped for the boys because that show is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is episodic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they don't release it in the binge model like Netflix does.
That way we can talk about it every week.
I forget what it was, but I did see that Netflix has a couple shows that they're doing episodically.
A lot of their reality shows they do episodically,
but nobody watches them is the thing. You know what I mean? So it's just like
I do. They're trash, but they have been my guilty pleasure since 2020.
Okay. Okay. Real question. Everyone's guilty pleasure show that they refuse to tell people they watch. What is it?
Why would I tell you?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours.
Go ahead. I'll tell you.
Go ahead. Tell.
Oh, I mean, mine, I would just say is crappy Netflix reality shows. Like I genuinely did just watch the latest season of Selling Sunset. And at this point, that show is just fucking ridiculous. They don't even sell houses anymore.
They really don't. It's like Black Ink, right? Like there's never any tattoos going on. It's just bullshit.
Yeah, it's just it's to the point I'm like, why am I even watching this anymore? But then I also I'm watching the new season of The Circle, and I also be watching Too Hot to Handle when a new season comes out. It's just
Love Island.
I like The Circle. I think that one is worthy of being liked. Like that show's pretty interesting.
Mine is Love Island UK and The Kardashians. I've watched The Kardashians since season 1, and I've started to watch the new stuff on Hulu. It's way better.
Never seen a single episode of The Kardashians. Never will.
Look, Travis Barker's on it now. Okay.
I heard it's funny as hell when people.
It's great.
But no.
Hulu was like, do whatever you want. We don't care. Say whatever you want. We don't care.
I love how it was marketed to be coming out on Disney Plus, and then it ended up on Hulu. Like when I first saw stuff, it was like Disney Plus UK was what it was going to be on. You know what? Like not guilty pleasure, but what I started. Well, it came out. I think this week actually. Have you guys ever watched the David Letterman? My next guest doesn't need any introduction. No. So it's David Letterman, full white, full gray beard like he's got and everything. And all he does is go hang out with certain people and just have honest conversations with them. Like this past season, he did Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan talks about having extremely crushing anxiety and how now at his age, he's looking back at being a father of 3 girls because his dad was the father of 4 boys. Like his dad was very tough and had rules and stuff, and now he's seeing like his dad died 5 years ago, and now he's looking back and like understanding his father more. So that was one. Billie Eilish is another person they talked to. I think you told me about Billie Eilish being on there. Yeah, is that the show where they talked about her cutting like 87 cuts of a song to make music? Okay, I have heard of this show. And it's the first time she actually has opened up about her tics. She's got tics really bad. I didn't know that. And she never,
And David asked her, like, what was that? And she's like, oh, I have tics. I've got, these issues. And he's like, well, set it off. She's like, just the lights. And he's like, well, can I ask questions? She goes, honestly, yeah, I've never talked about it openly. So by all means, go ahead. And it's these in-depth conversations about being like Kevin Durant's on one.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Well, it's great. And it's not long. It's like 25, 30 minutes. It's not long at all. Anyways, Jacob, what's your guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I'm about to say, don't let that man skate by.
I'm not.
Right now, I have two. One of them is going through every single Spider-Man show, and that includes even the god-awful Spider-Man one that everybody hates on because all the character designs are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one I'm currently on, and I really hate it, but I'm still watching it. But I would say my guilty pleasure is I'm currently going through and watching all of Adventure Time because I never ended up finishing it. And I just think the show is kind of like really interesting, even though it's such stupid humor. There's a lot of adult humor in it too, and on top of that, like it's got this like wild backstory of how it's post-apocalyptic. And
it's funny when you think about shows like that like are just dumb humor and you think are stupid, and now like look at The Simpsons, Family Guy, and South Park, right?
And Rick and Morty too.
And Rick and Morty, but Rick and Morty is like what, season?
And it's more open about it in Rick and Morty.
But like Simpsons, Family Guy, and South Park, they're on season like 30 or whatever nonsense now. It's just like, at this point, who watches Simpsons? I don't even know anybody who watches South Park anymore. Obviously, we all kind of watch Family Guy because it's Family Guy. Because it's always on randomly and you have it on and it goes through, but
it's kind of weird when you're at the hotel.
Yeah, it's like putting SportsCenter on it to go to bed, and I just put that on instead.
But it also, this man probably got the itch from playing multiverses. You played Fan a couple times. Oh yeah,
100%.
Yep.
Still pandering. If anybody wants back of knee photos or heel photos, still selling those for a code for.
Alpha's over.
The beta's over, or alpha.
I can still hope.
But somebody at Warner Brothers is just like, I have been looking for some heel photos.
Yeah.
Of a
God, how did he know I weirdly like back of knees? Like,
I'm dead.
All right. Well, next week, The Boys. What else is next week? Is there a movie?
Just another episode of KENOBI, and
Kenobi,
and also
Boys.
They're coming out at midnight, so like midnight Eastern time. So I'll stay up and watch it.
Thank God.
I didn't realize that. I thought it was coming out at 3 fucking a.m.
Same. And I went to bed and I was telling Jacob, like, I got your guys' text about it. And I was just like, well, screw me. Like, I guess I'm just going to watch it now. I'm on AMC's apps right now. Shout out AMC. Movies next week. Nothing really. Phantom of the Opera. Crimes of the Future. Easter Sunday with Joe Coy.
This sounds like nothing that I care about seeing.
Yeah, like dead ass. Oh no, that's August 5th. Never mind.
I think the biggest thing we got next week is probably The Boys. Like as far as new, like not released shit, it's gonna be The Boys. Obviously we'll talk about the next episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maybe I'll have, at least watch season 1 of Stranger Things. I'm not gonna promise anything. So
I know you ain't gonna watch it.
There's only so much time in a day. I do a lot of other things.
I drink and know things. So we'll have that next week. Obviously Kenobi's gonna be the big talk because I have a feeling it's really gonna start connecting. Like I said, it's only 6 episodes. We've gotten 2, so it's only 4 more weeks.
Better hit it on point with that midpoint.
Yeah. What we really didn't even talk about was like the fact that this ends, right? So pull up the calendar here. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6. So it ends on the 24th. And then Miss Marvel starts when?
In August.
I don't know.
So
I think first week of August, right?
Right. But now we're like,
I thought She-Hulk was in August. Ms. Marvel's in June.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
so
Ms. Marvel's
correct.
in June.
So we're looking at the 24th of June, Kenobi ending. So Miss Marvel will kind of probably, I think it's towards the middle of June. So that puts it middle of July ending. And then
Miss Marvel's June 8th.
Oh.
Miss Marvel will literally be not next week's episode, but the week after that. Then
week after. But that puts us July. But I mean, like, we've got that other we got Andor coming out August 31st. Like another.
What you're saying is we're gonna have a bunch of shit this summer to talk about.
Star Wars in general is what I'm talking about. It's like, so like we've got tons of, we got the Kenobi happening, a little bit of gap. Then we've got, it's almost like Marvel's formula now, right? Like here's Star Wars, little gap, Star Wars, little gap, and then Ahsoka's at the end of the year, little gap, and then we'll get Mando in February.
Lit. It's a lit time to be a Star Wars fan.
Oh, it's so good. And then also next year's the video game and the movie, and who God knows what else they're going to announce today and tomorrow.
Yeah, we also never know. We're just going to keep getting shit. So
yeah, seriously.
Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. We lot to talk about with Star Wars. We'll have plenty. We'll see if some theories are confirmed next week. As far as like Obi-Wan Kenobi and everything. Also be on the lookout. Yeah. Be on the lookout for different videos of segments from this episode as well. You can catch those on youtube.com. Look up the Daily Kazoo podcast on YouTube. And we can be found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcast, man. And rate us 5 stars, nothing less than 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, we don't want it. No, I'm just kidding.
A little rough. I mean,
no, you know, the 5-star ratings, the 5-star ratings help boost the algorithm, and you know, help Apple love us. Any
rating and comment helps, but yes, it is nice if it's a 5-star.
I think we just want 5 stars. Don't.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just 5 stars.
I'll settle for a 4.5.
Okay.
No, 4.48. 4.48 Kazoo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of 9.8 Kazoos, Top Gun's phenomenal. It's the reason the phrase blockbuster was made. That's all I'm going to say about the movie. It's by far my favorite. It's by far my favorite action movie ever. It is so good.
Big bet on calling that. We'll also allow a soapbox for next week from Megs at the very beginning. Y'all hold us to it in the comments for him to give his thoughts on Top Gun. I might go see it before that happens. We'll see.
I may if I start.
Saddest part is Val Kilmer looks like Mickey Rourke now. So,
I mean,
he's just had a lot of work done.
Yeah, no, I get it. He's got his illness, and that, you know, not trying to make fun of him for that, but like when I saw him, I hadn't seen him forever, and it was just like, oof. Like I feel horrible for him. All right. Well, hey, I'll see everybody next week. You guys coming back next week?
I'm gonna be here next week.
I know. I'm just fucking.
I'm not dead.
Everybody who's listening, y'all be back here next week too. We will not allow Jacob to die. We will. Yeah. We'll send him aid of some sort. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening. I have been JPhrygian. This is, what's your name again?
What's your name again?
I'm KingVonSchweetz.
That's KingVonSchweetz, the official Mags, JPhrygian. Hey, we'll see you guys next week.